Basically, we can get into another segment. You guys want? If you got time? You guys got time for one more?
Yes, sir.
I got time.
Wonderful. Here, just I don't know where I came up with this one. It's called recommendations. Basically, go ahead and Pablo, you look very excited. Why don't we go ahead and start?
Please.
I got two. One is what they say apropos to what we're talking about now. It's a book that Vinny Paz gave me called "Don't Rhyme for the Sake of Ritalin" by Russell Meyer, the authorized story of Public Enemy.
Okay.
Oh
okay.
wow, that's.
I mean, if you
wow.
want to know everything that happened, what we just talked about, the real story, get this book. Now, I read it last year and I forget half of it, so I can't recite any of it. But this is about people that were there for everything. And you're going to hear some nice things, and you're going to hear some not so nice things about the people you look up to. But it basically tells the story on how all these albums were made up to like 10 years ago, I guess, where like Chuck's streaming on like Radio Stream or whatever. Mm-hmm. But if you're a Public Enemy fan, it's a must-have. Really dope book. The second one, the funny one, is cartoon that just came out, Justice League vs. Ruby, Superheroes and Huntsman Part 1. Mm-hmm. It's a DC cartoon, animated movie. Stuff I like to watch on the weekends when I'm just trying to chill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about this, like Ruby Red. I think she's like Japanime or something. But now that I'm hip, I'm trying to like watch movies about her and her crew and whatever. And it's like a team up. I'm a mark for team ups. I'm a mark for more than one superhero in a movie or show. Like that's why I like the Justice League, even though everyone hated it. X-Men was dope because there was like 5-10 people in it. Like I love team ups. Mm-hmm. So this Justice League versus Ruby is a really good cartoon, really well done. It's like superhero plus anime, so it's dope.
And what's it called one more time?
Justice League and Ruby. And Ruby's like RWBY.
RWBY.
And then the title's called Superheroes and Huntsman Part 1. So they did leave it off a cliffhanger a little bit. Where their two worlds kind of mold. I don't want to ruin it, but the two worlds is Justice League and this Ruby. Their worlds mold together and they have to fight the enemy, but then they got to figure out now why are we even fighting this thing in the first place. I guess that's part 2.
Yeah.
Really dope, really well done cartoon. Peep it.
Okay, yeah, I'll probably watch it. Gene, do you have any recommendations?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Gene. Go ahead.
Absolutely. A podcast recommendation. I'm the non-American here, Australia. If you want to learn a little bit about Australia, the weird shit of Australia, listen to Weird Crap in Australia. Yeah, it talks about true crime. It talks about cryptids. It talks about Ozploitation movies. The most famous ever being Mad Max and the Mad Max series, of course.
Can you tell me what? I never heard that word before.
Ozploitation.
Yeah, what is that?
So Australia, AUS, Oz, and it'll be with an O and a Z. That's just an Australian thing, yeah. So exploitation, but Australian exploitation. And so they're exploitation films from Australia, which were very big in the late 70s and early 80s. And Mad Max is the most famous one. They did that, that's the one they spread across.
Are we talking about like the Mad Max and then like Paul Hogan series? Is that considered that too? That's all we know. That's all we know in America is Mad Max and Paul Hogan with the knife. Crocodile Dundee. Yes.
Yeah. That is
and Yahoo Serious
Hollywood.
Yeah, that was Yahoo Serious. That's third. That's it. That's all that happened in Australia as far as we know in America.
Razorback's a good one. It's a movie about a giant boar, about a giant pig that runs rampage in the Australian outback. That's another classic Ozploitation movie.
Okay, give me another one.
Look up. Okay. You've got Mad Max. You've got Razorback. You've got Wake and Fright. Yeah, this is one of the earliest Ozploitation films. Basically, there's an English teacher who's in the outback. He wants to go home to Britain for 6 months. He gets stuck in a small town, and he goes on a drinking binge with basically these Australian, what's a good word, rednecks, hillbillies, our equivalent over here. And he gets caught up in a 2-week-long drinking binge, loses all his money, loses all his possessions, loses his job, and it really highlights basically what happens in rural Australia, the issues with alcohol, the issues with racism. And this movie came out at a time when Australia just wanted to ignore all that, sweep it under the carpet, and try and be a country that's, connected to the rest of the world. Hey, we are civilized, we are cultivated, whilst trying to forget about all of this. So scrap the podcast. The movie is called Wake in Fright, and you'll be able to get it on the internet. Yeah.
Word up. Yeah. Thank you.
So Wake in Fright is the movie, right?
Yes.
I'll probably watch that because podcast.
He didn't say wake and bake, Paco. He said wake and fright. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, I'm up and slow.
But I digress. That wasn't Gene's recommendation. His recommendation was
Weird Crap in Australia.
Weird Crap in Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're a nation of convicts on one of the oldest pieces of land on the earth. Weird shit happens here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to let me interrupt. I just wanted to ask Gene real quick too, because everyone can go back to their lineage to a criminal. So we have 23andMe here. We have Ancestry.com. Is that big over there? Just so you guys can figure out who your initial lineage is.
We don't really bother because we know basically. We were basically the poor Brits and the Irish, some Scottish, mostly Irish, who were sent over here just to basically just get rid of us. Yeah,
just get out.
Just get out. Yeah, and basically that is the majority of our lineage here to this day.
So you know your lineage then.
Yeah, I'm German / Irish. Yeah.
But do you know family names going far back to who was the first dude that got exiled?
No.
Your great grandfather Rob stole some bread, and you know why, that.
I don't know their name, but I'm pretty damn sure that they did. Yeah.
Okay.
Because that happened to all of us. Yeah. So St. Patrick's Day is huge here, even though I've got major issues, major beef heat with that day. But yeah, it is huge down here. Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering if everyone played into that, the DNA testing, you guys would just have this huge database of
because it's not so
200
much.
people that got to Australia.
Yeah, sure. Others may do. I don't myself.
Okay.
But we don't have the cultural, the ethnic melting pot that you guys do there in America. Yeah. It's pretty much the whites, the indigenous, what you may know as Aborigines, and then lots and lots of Asians. Yeah, because of the proximity. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
To Australia.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
Welcome.
I learned something today. I appreciate it. It was well worth it.
Welcome.
Yeah. That's wonderful. It's great. Ronnie, do you have a recommendation? Oh, by the way, I was taking the time to subscribe to that podcast, so it's on my list.
Yes.
Excellent. Cool.
Ronnie, go ahead and give us a recommendation, man.
Don't really have anything super that I recommend at this moment. I feel like, I like Gene's recommendation. I'm really interested in subscribing to Pablo's podcast. If we can put that.
Oh man, you ever heard that? Look out, buddy. Look out.
Yeah. It's a good time.
So
appreciate it though.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to subscribe to that when we get off here and probably binge listen. That's my I think my biggest downfall is when I find a new podcast, I'll go back and listen to 10 or 15 episodes in a row.
These are sometimes 3-4 hours long.
Yeah, man, we don't mess around. We have 3-hour podcasts. So if you're dudes that we know that work in construction or whatever, they're it's the best thing ever because you got me for half my day. Yeah. But for someone that's casually driving to work 45 minutes, they'll listen to their first 45 and maybe not come back. So it's it's assured.
Well, if I listen to JRE at work, I can definitely listen to this. So.
Yeah.
Well, I think we need to do it there, Paco. you know, we brought you on. Thank you very much. You know, really, myself and Pablo and Ronnie, you know, we're honored to have you here. Broadsheet Breakdown. It's one of my favorites of all time. Did you want to plug at all while you're here?
Oh, we're just gonna skip my recommendation. Go ahead, Gene.
Yeah,
your recommendation's whack, man. We don't care about your recommendation. That's what he just said to me on chat. Yeah.
No, it's all good.
What do you got? What do you got, Paco?
Oh, okay. You know what?
He's off mic.
Just you know, I recommend the Kill Tony books. If you like Kill Tony podcast, you know, it's just all the art. You know, from the comics that were on the show. You know, they do a new picture every episode of Kill Tony. So I recommend that if you like it. All right, now you can close it out, Gene. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me my 15 seconds while you had 34 hours. Go ahead, Gene. Thank you. I'm just kidding. It's all good. I really didn't have anything. I just grabbed that. You know.
Yeah, Paco, did you want to plug at all?
No.
You're here?
Ask Pablo if he wants to plug, though.
Sorry.
I know what he meant. But sorry. I wanted you to say something, Paco. I just like the way you hold your microphone. You don't have to stand. You're a podcaster without a stand. It's pretty admirable.
You know, I think outside the box.
Pablo. I love it, man. I appreciate your 200%.
Appreciation of me. Yeah, thank you.
I love it. I got nothing to plug. I mean, you know, us, Broadsheet Breakdown. We do our episodes when we do them. Vinny's got one to Knock Him Out the Box podcast. It's straight up boxing. There's no bullshit. It's real boxing analytics. That's not weighed here or there. It's legit. So I mean, I work on that for him, not as as talent, as behind the scenes. Really good if you're in the boxing. If you're you know, it's boxing, so don't think it's like them busting balls like BSB. It's not that, but it's a really good podcast if you're a true sports fan of that. Yeah. If you're in Philly, please get tattooed at Crescent Street Tattoo. That's where me and the OG are all weekend. Dope spot. Gimmick Gangers, thanks all for listening for all the years. I really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't have done without you. I mean, at the height, we had heavy numbers, man, when we were doing this shit every week in and week out. So I mean, we definitely felt it. We felt the love. Right. So appreciate it all. That's all I got. You know, jmtstore.com. If, like I said, when you buy stuff off Vinny, then he buys me dinner. So it pays. It's paying it forward. So you buy some JMT merch. And, oh yeah, and thanks for everyone that came out on the tour, the Last Jedi tour. Celebrities and fans. Every night sold out. The backstage was wild, crazy. Seeing people I haven't seen in years. But people that, you know, we started working on the shit in the 90s. So just all the people that came out was awesome. Dope. Appreciate it.
Right. That's wonderful.
And thanks for having me on, you guys. It was a lot of fun.
You know, I thank you for coming on, man.
It was my pleasure. It's just, you know, as long as the time frame can work out, you know, because we're all in different time zones, you know, I'm down for whatever, you know.
All right. You know, maybe I could recommend an album that you listen to and we talk about it.
Sure.
You know, I would love that.
Sure.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Paco, hey, shout out to Paco.
All right. So basically, we're going to end the show, man. Thank you, Pablo, again for your Chico tip.
Appreciate you guys.
Oh, it was great meeting all you guys, and not in person, in video. I had a great time.
Awesome.
She was banging. Yeah, she was banging.
Right. I respect your hip hop knowledge, so it's good chatting with somebody.
Thank you.
Right.
I mean, not that Gene doesn't know anything about hip hop, but
no, Gene.
It's all perspective, man. It's all perspective. When you heard it, your age, your geographical location. I mean, it's important. You know, it's important, and there's things that you don't know, so it's great to speak about it.
It's a lot of unknowns. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
All right, everybody. Peace.
All right, peace.